That's right, everybody. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the art of running 4 paddles on your controller. YouTube, what is going on? It is your favorite controller player on PC, Above Average Cody here, coming at you with yet another controller video. Now, earlier in the week, I did tell you guys how I have my controller set up, how I have everything mapped, and I will reference that a little bit in today's video, but the main focus is going to be the art of running 4 paddles. Now, I am the only one in my immediate friend group I know that runs 4 paddles. Everybody thought I was crazy for running 4 paddles for the longest time. Scuffs are generally more comfortable running only 2 paddles because of the way the paddle design is. But we're going to get into all of that in this video, guys. Please go down below, hit that subscribe button. We're doing all kinds of controller videos now, Halo tips and tricks videos. We open Pokemon cards, a lot of fun stuff. Leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know how you run your controller setup. Now, the art of this running 4 paddles for me is so that I do not have to play claw. Now, I explained this in this past week's video. I run the A, the B, the X, and the Y on my back paddles so that I never have to touch the A, B, X, Y. And I'm going to go into that. So if you don't know what claw is, guys, claw is basically somebody will play like this and use these fingers up here so that this finger can hit the A, B, X, Y. Now, why would you even want that? It's so that your finger never has to leave the aim stick. You can jump while you aim. You can slide while you aim. You're never losing your aim on the target. So that is the reason people play claw. That's the reason people run paddles. And this day and age, when things are competitive and you have people playing on these paddle controllers, people who've been playing claw for years, you have to be on the top of your game, guys, and you can't be taking your finger off the aim stick and breaking that aim. So I'll briefly explain this. This was already explained in the last video. I run A on the top right, B on the bottom right, X on the top left, and Y on the bottom left. Basically, I'm a righty, guys. My right hand works much better, so the jumping and the sliding, much more important movements I'm doing all the time, are on that right hand being my middle finger and my ring finger. And then the X and the Y, not as important, so they're on my left hand, my reload, and my switch weapons. Now, again, I do this so that I never, ever, ever have to touch that A, B, X, Y up there. And the problem with the 4 paddles and why a lot of people get scared off from them is the way the Xbox Elite, which is what I run, is an Xbox Series 1, the paddles bow out and they're always under your fingers. Now, scuff paddles are more right here and they go straight down, so you're not like trying to hit them as much. And the main reason I did not go for a scuff and I went with an Elite 3 years ago when I first made my switch to a paddle controller is because you can hold the controller normally like this and the paddles are right here. That's the first set of paddles. The second ones are further in, and I did not like having to adjust my grip so that I was able to reach in for those paddles. Now, the design with the Xbox Elite is they are all right under your fingers. I'm always holding the controller like this. Now, for those of you that don't run paddles and give your controller the death grip, like you're really grabbing those hand grips on the controller, that's how I used to hold the controller too, guys, and it is very, very hard to adjust to 4 paddles when you do that, and I think that's the reason 4 paddles scares everybody off, especially on the Elite controller. You kind of hold it a little bit different, and it's almost like you're pushing the controller like this. So see how I'm holding the controller? It's not going anywhere. I'm holding it like that. So rather than using your back fingers for support on the controller, you have to use the sides of your hands and almost pinch it enough where it does not obviously drop out of your hands. That is because you can't rest on your back fingers anymore, because if you do, guys, you're going to be pushing these paddles nonstop. They're very sensitive paddles, very easy to push in. So to run 4 paddles, you do have to hold your controller differently. And make no mistake, whether you are trying to learn 4 paddles or if you just want to hear from a amazing 4 paddle phenom like myself, guys, it's very hard to get used to. It is very hard. It took me 2 weeks. I was about ready to, 3 years ago, I was about ready to pack this thing up back in the box and throw it on GameStop's doorstep where I got it, because I just couldn't do it, guys. I couldn't do it. I was freaking out. I couldn't get comfortable with it, and just, it was bugging me until I kind of adjusted and learned. Dude, I was bumping these paddles nonstop, and I only recommend doing 4 paddles if you're a serious, like, competitive gamer, guys, because this is not a Netflix machine controller by any means. You bump these things constantly if you're not careful. I rest it on my leg a lot when I'm playing, and I'm always bumping paddles. I'm always canceling the matchmaking because I'm pressing the B paddle. But so yeah, you kind of learn to hold it differently like this, and then the fingers can push however much they need to. And that's kind of the first thing you have to learn. The next thing you have to learn is where you like your buttons, guys. Again, this is what works for me. This was kind of just what I sent and tried, because I do kind of put the A, B, X, Y into categories. The A and the B, the jump and the slide, buttons you're going to be using all the time. And I do not play tactical, so I do not use my stick to slide or anything. I use the stick strictly for aiming and at least melee generally. But A and B, most important, you're always jumping, you're always sliding. These high movement games, these high movement skill gap games, so they're on my right hand. My right hand works much better with pressing buttons on the back of the controller. And then the X and the Y, guys, you're not always going to be reloading. You're not always going to be switching weapons, but they are two things that are extremely important. So I do have them on the back of the controller such that I can press them however often I need to. The only thing is, though, again, resting the controller on the backs of your fingers sometimes, it's hard to not do that. So often I do find myself bumping my Y paddle a lot, so you'll see me randomly switch weapons and stuff like that. It's weird, but it does happen to me sometimes, even after playing 3 years on this controller. It's rare. It's usually not that detrimental, but it does happen to me once in a while, guys. So 4 paddles, very hard, but the cool thing with the Elite 2 is if you can't get used to the 4 paddles, you can just take them out. They're just like magnetic and they hook out like that. And bingo bango, now you only have 1 paddle on your right side, so you can now use this finger to do the death grip, and then you can just use this one to press however often you'd like, which is what a lot of people go to. But again, guys, for me, the Y being on the back is the most important, especially with Halo Infinite, because say you're juggling the flag or something, you can't look up to juggle the flag because you're not going to be able to look up because you're reaching up to hit your Y. There's no other way to hit Y. That's why paddle on the back. And I'm not saying I recommend 4 paddles to everybody. It is intricate. I believe there is a bit of an art to it, and I'm not just saying that to gas myself up, guys. I was literally about to throw this thing out the window when I was trying to learn 4 paddles, but I figured it would be what is best for me and my play style, and sure enough, I got used to it. I will not play with anything else, and frankly, it makes me uncomfortable to play on a regular Xbox controller at this point. I would just buy another Elite before I force myself to run a regular Xbox controller. So you guys, the biggest thing to remember with controllers and controller settings is find what works for you. Nobody is going to be able to tell you this is the best setup, this is the way to do it. And I realized my title earlier in the week said best settings for the Xbox controller. It's the best settings for me, guys. It is not the best settings for everybody. Whether you like 1 paddle, 2 paddles, 4 paddles, 3 paddles, maybe no paddles. I don't even know if I already said that. Maybe you play claw and you don't have a controller with paddles at all. That's fine too. But find whatever works for you, guys. I will stop talking your ear off now because I think I have said enough. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for all the support on the Halo Infinite videos, the live streams. It has been an absolute blast, and I love how we're growing the family here, guys. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe down below. Again, I already said all the roles of content we have. Leave a like while you are down there, and leave a comment, guys. Talk controller with me. Tell me how many paddles you run. Do you run claw? If so, I think you are a good freak of nature, because I was never good enough to figure out claw. It felt way too uncomfortable for me. But that does it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video helps you out, or maybe you just enjoyed learning from somebody who's a freak themselves and runs 4 paddles. But I like it. Like I said, I will not play any other way, and that's how I am now, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.